So first of all, I'd just like to thank everybody who have come from far and wide. I know there are people from every coast of the United States and some coming from outside of this area, outside of the country as well. And it means a lot to us as a family that you would come. The occasion, of course, is the marriage of Mita and Tavor. Quite something. And I can see why you all came out, because you just wanted to actually see that this thing happened. You know, it's a sort of incredulous spirit with which we come here, and it's a chance to get to know exactly what happened here. So what happened was in July, in a beautiful vista that is in some way the parallel of this view over the lake at Burr. Only in this case, it was a view from the mountains outside Boulder, Colorado, where Mita and Tavor have settled. We got to see them married. It was a view that overlooked in 270 degrees more than 60 miles in every direction. And that day was a day where there were, by report, eagles floating, the birds that we watched circling above eagles, a double rainbow as they were exchanging vows, weather changing from completely clear to rain and back to completely clear again. This event marking the union of two people who met in New York City and decided to start an entirely new life together. I've gotten to know Tavor over the past couple of years, and I can describe him to you in a couple of ways. One way I would describe him is as a gentleman who went to Columbia, majored in chemical engineering, who went to business school, who went on from there to work in management consulting, helped build an entire business, end up selling that business to PricewaterhouseCoopers, from which he retired officially. I don't know if you'd call it retired, but he got the heck out of there officially this week as part of embarking on this new life. The other way I can describe Tavor is this is a guy who exercises like 3 hours a day with an intensity level that I've never achieved on the tennis court for even 15 minutes. He's completely vegetarian, gluten-free, and vegan in a way that would make my mother proud if I ever managed to come close to that. And he's a person who knows everything you can possibly know about the natural world. And Mita and Tavor have really connected around their ability to travel, see the world, go to places I can't imagine. As part of their courtship, they went to Mexico to see the migration of the monarch butterflies. They've traveled to countries around the world, and I think for her, it has opened up a set of possibilities about imagining a life that she, and I'm putting words in your own mouth so you can correct me because she gets the microphone right after this, opened up the possibilities of a life that she might have been scared to consider. She gave up a career as a partner in a law firm, having been incredibly successful in New York and in the New Jersey area. Gave up a circle of friends that were in and around her that she hasn't given up, but at the same time decided that they were going to start in a completely new way, and settled in Boulder, Colorado, where they could go from the crush of a city life to a place where they have black bears wandering in their own backyard, and hummingbirds that literally come so close that when Tavor wears his hummingbird hat that actually has feeders on the hat, they will circle around and take and feed from his head, which he considers a good idea. The one sorrow of the wedding was not being able to have it here with all of you. And so this is the fabulous occasion of bringing all of you together. I don't think Mita, certainly Tavor didn't, or my mother, had any idea how many of you would come, and from far and wide. It's been old home reunion weekend, from when we were kids and running around at Indian movies being held in an OU auditorium with us running around and chasing each other and stuffing ourselves on gulab jamun and jalebi from Mrs. Raju and Mrs. Koshal and everybody else, Mrs. Jane, who kept us well supplied. And that chance to see all of you again with children now who are grown up and starting to enter into the world themselves really helps us understand what all of this really means. So with that in mind, we thank you.
Atul,
I'd like to also, yes?
is it possible that you can introduce some people who used to live here? You have heard so much about
We will let that occasion have a chance to, because we also have a whole concert in front of us as well. But there are many, many people, and I hope you get a chance to introduce yourselves across the room and remember who everybody is connected to and here. And so with that, I'd just like to have a chance to let Mita say a bit about this occasion and our chance to hear a concert in celebration of their union that my mother helped arrange. But a toast, by the way, to Mita and to Burr. Congratulations.
It's so wonderful to have everyone here who has been with us, our family, my mom and my dad, through so many stages of our lives. People who knew me before I was even born, and for all the way to people who have joined the fold of the Gawande family. I have been so touched by how much love and support my parents have received from all of you, and that has been more meaningful to me than anything. And it was especially meaningful for me to have this reception on the same weekend as the event at Ohio University launching the two projects that my mom and dad had started before my father passed away. And to have all of you here over this weekend joining in that is really, really very special. So I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I'm so touched to have each of you here who have traveled from near and far to come together. We will carry the love and the good spirit that you have brought here. We will carry that with us to our home in Colorado. So thank you so much. I want to introduce our two wonderful musicians here. And first I want to apologize because we only have one microphone, which is not usually the typical situation. We would have a different setup, but at the same time, these musicians are just incredible. Hasu Patel is in the Cleveland Oberlin area, and she trained under Ustad Vilayat Khan, who is one of the great masters of classical Indian music, and specifically Sitar. And she has mastered that style. She is one of the very few female Sitar players that you will see, because it is very rare for a teacher to teach a female. And so she has broken through that barrier. And also, besides playing beautifully and teaching, she also composes and has composed pieces for two orchestras in the United States. So it's a pleasure to have her here. And Vishal Nagar is based in both San Francisco and Delhi. And he is also just one of the finest double players in the United States. Hasu Patel handpicked him to perform with her today. And so he has graciously flown from San Francisco to be here. The New York Public Library has written about Usha Auntie's CD, which is a presentation of a number of her pieces, and has spoken about how moving her music is, and how one doesn't just listen to it, but you listen through it, and you hear and see and contemplate the world through her music. So welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
The only reason why I put it that high is because we just have one.
I'll put it up as soon as
I just, yeah, that's fine. We were just trying to.
Okay.
Namaste. I may not be too loud because of this, but please, I'm very happy, and it's a privilege to be in with our special occasion, ours, and we are so fortunate that we are here to perform classical music of North India called Hindustani music. This music is so divine also, and I was trained under the great maestros, so, and the style is a vocal style. The sitar sounds like a voice coming out from the instrument, coming to you. So tonight I request everyone, please be attentive. If you possible, close your eyes. See what I'm talking to you through the notes. Every note will tell you something, the story of my life, telling you the story of your life. So it is something very different. I play two melodies called ragas. The first is the first melody. I'll play allow the improvisations without the tabla, and then I'll play two short compositions, and then I'll play small another rag for to conclude the event. So, and with me, Vishal, he plays with me, I think many times, right? We played in San Francisco when I go there to perform. I'll always think that he should play with me all the time. And mostly we play, I play in West Coast nowadays more than our hometowns and the East Coast. Vishal's mother is also a great artist. So he grew up in a music family of musicians. His father was the instrumental in bringing mother and two sons in a music level. Her brother sings, his brother sings also. So my point is that he is also a very musical and a very talented young man. I wish him the best.
Thank you.
So here I play Raga, Rajeshri. For the music student, how many are musicians here? I play the scale. So we don't take second, don't take the fifth note. It's a pentatonic rag, 5 notes. Only 7th is flat, all are natural. So any music students who are playing piano, violin, sing, just think about it. If you need more information, come to me, I'll make you write the notes.
Congratulations. I'm really glad that I can be a part of this with my drums. My drums sound happy, so congrats to you guys. It's very nice of Hasuji to share an opportunity to share with you my joy of tabla. Thoda ka tambra? Tabla is actually a drum. Many of you are already familiar with this. Am I loud enough? Yes. This is a drum of North India, and it's a North Indian classical drum used predominantly till about 50s as an accompanying instrument. So we would always play with a sitar player or a sarod player. In last 30 years, tabla has found its own new voice. It's become very global drum, and it's found its voice as a solo instrument. There's a lot of tabla solo concerts that you see where there's actually a melody player holding like a time cycle, and the tabla player improvises using these sounds. You also hear a lot of tabla these days in various contemporary or in fact sometimes in the background scores of movies and even advertisements and video games, by the way. So there is a lot of, in fact I was contacted to be the sound for when the character Apu comes in the Simpsons. so tabla is truly a drum that is getting out to the world. I'm glad that it's part of my journey and it's my life. So the way we have language, what is amazing about this instrument in the world of drumming is that every sound, when we learn tabla, we don't learn it only as a drumming tradition, we learn this as a language. So it becomes a way of expression. Yes, there is time cycle, there is 16-beat time cycle, 10-beat cycle, 12-beat cycle, 7-beat cycle. There are various time cycles, time signatures, but that is one technical part of it. What is very interesting is how every sound can be spoken and how those sounds come together to become phrases and then eventually sentences and stories. So, for example, the first sound of tabla that we learn is ta. You can speak with me. Ta, T-A. Ta. Tita. Tera, kita. Dha. Din. Dhera, dhera. Dhina, gina. Now these little sounds come together and become like little words. Just like alphabets coming together. Dha, tita, dha. Ta, 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 ghe. Dhera, dhera, kita, taka. Fantastic, you guys are. Then these words come together and become these sentences. Dhate dhagena, dhate dhagena, dhage tinnagena. Dhate dhagena, dhate dhagena, tinnagena. These sentences come together and become a little paragraph. Dhate dhagena, dhate dhagena, tinnagena, ghena, dhagena, dhate dhagena, dhage tinnagena, ta. Dhate dhagena, dhate dhage tinnagena, ghena, dhate dhagena, dhate dhage tinnagena. So these little phrases, and then once you know this language, as a tabla musician, this becomes a way of your expression. So there is also excitement of it's almost like you're in a maze. There is also like or dhinna, tin tin ta taka dhinna din. So every expression can be found through the voice. So almost is like the sound of tabla becomes an extension of yourself. You're expressing still, but instead of using the words, you're expressing through the medium of your instrument. However, this whole thing, this whole canvas of all these colors of expression has a structure to it, and that structure is the time cycle. That time cycle could be, as I was sharing, 16 called Teen Tal, which many of us know, Jap Tal, 10 beats, Dadra, 6 beats. So on the basis of that time cycle, we are improvising. So we improvise, and all this energy that we create, we hit that one, we bring that energy, converge it to the beat number one. And that's what is going on in a concert. So when you see both of us performing, she's playing a melodic structure, a melodic composition, which is based in one of those time cycles. Like for example, right now it was based in 16s, that's 4 sets of 4. And I had a standard beat I was playing, but there was all this improvisation she was doing, there was all this improvisation I was doing, and we were syncing up on the beat number one. She was improvising on the basis of the scale and the melody. I was improvising or expressing my feelings in the parallel to that, or complementing that, with expression of my tabla sounds, and we would sync up to the one. And that's the aha moment in Indian classical music. So when we perform, and in a drum solo, it becomes a little more exciting because you're only dealing with just the drum element of it. So instead of complementing and supporting, you just go and you can, go crazy, I guess. So I mean, Indian music is an ocean of all these amazing possibilities, but it's good to know what a performer thinks when they perform. And that's what I wanted to share with you, that dhatitha, ginatha, dhaginatha, kataka ginatha. It's like a question. Gina, dhagina, katatha, dhaginatha, tadha. It's like an answer. And once this all is going on, these things become even more exciting. Because in this abstract form of structured energy, we try to sync these phrases and make sense out of these. Crazy we are. But now look at this phrase. Dhidrikata, one phrase. Katagagidin, another phrase. Ghintaran, another phrase. Tadha, another phrase. But as a performer, when we put them together, the expression that is brought in by a performer is on this beat. So as a performer, when you're performing, you don't let the energy of that flow drop till the point you hit the one. And that movement of that fluid energy in the abstract is also a part of this drumming. And that's why it becomes even more interesting. So beyond the physical and the virtuosic part of it, there's also this imagination of how you're making the beats flow. And that is what we, love to do. So dha gina ka da dha 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 gina ka da dha 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 ta dhin ta ke ta dha dhin ta ka dha 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 ta ka dhin dha 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 you guys. Da, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pam, pam.
the last piece is small. थोड़ा सा दिखा थोड़ा I can yeah publicly. It's a raga Bhairavi. Usually the artist will conclude the concert with this raga melody. Actually, it is early morning raga, but it is a tradition in Indian classical music of North India that when we play, this is the last piece we play. In this raga, the second, third, sixth, and seventh notes are flat. So it's very every time we play, it's every time we create the new melody, new emotions in the raga. It's never the same with any artist or anybody. So Raga Bhairavi. Before I conclude, also I thank Sushiben to at least remember and brought us here, give us opportunity to share our music with you all so much. And thanks to the young couple, and I'm very happy for them.
Before she finishes the last raga, all I want to mention to you, the audience, in my whole life with her, she had plays hundreds of performances, small, big, performing arts. The audience which I find today is exceptionally outstanding. The respect the musician gate or the music gate is phenomenal. This is the place where I find where all the people are sitting like in the yoga ashram. That is the only audience you find like a pin drop silence. She has turned down dozens and dozens and dozens of reception party type of performances. Host will say, you name the price, 2, 3, 4, 5,000, but you come and play. Her condition, you don't drink and you don't because it's the respect. It's like a temple music,
Exactly.
church music. So I'm happy for the sushi band, she can understand, but I'm overly happy when the young generation, they would at least appreciate and do this. And attending this place, Athens, yesterday and today, we find a kind of vibration which we usually don't find. This music she is not doing for commercial way. She wants to spread, to let the know people, our half of the Indian origin here, and particularly my appeal to you folks. Remember, tabla is the rhythm. It's in our whole life, rhythm goes on and on. With so much due respect, I listened my wife so many times all these years. Today, the first part she played, it was exceptionally phenomenal. The clarity, the beauty, the care, the emotion that was flowing out of her. I mean, I'm really touched with all you people, and I'm sure not many of you will at least enjoy in future this music. Thank you so much for my work.
Again, please close your eyes. It is very, very emotional rag. It will touch you, everyone. I want everyone to listen very carefully. Every note is so powerful here.
Thank you, Usha Auntie and Vishalji. True pleasure. And I especially want to thank my mom for making all these arrangements and treating us like royalty. She has been so supportive, and it's just meant the world to us. Thank you. So please feel free to mix and mingle and have some drinks or desserts, and we'll close the evening in a mellow kind of way. Thank you all for being here. Thank you.
I just want to add one more thing. This young man and I'm an old lady. I'm glad I put up with you. Thank you so much. And to be very, it's a very surprise to me. One of my old friend and my old neighbor in India, their 2 kids are here. They're grown up, and I'm Bella and Chirag. They're here, and I'm so happy to see them after they're grown up now. I'm so happy. So thank you for us. Thank you so much for bringing me together and to the full circle here. Thank you so much.